Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. Your host Ram with you on Sunday, the 20th of February 2022, on your cricket show, Cricket Happenings. This cricket show today is going to talk about India's clean sweep of West Indies in the T20 series after India won the final T20 match by 17 runs. At the other end, Australia versus Sri Lanka. Australia have never beaten any team, blanked any team 5-0 in a T20 series. They were on the verge of that today, but Sri Lanka prevented that with the Kushal Mendes innings taking them to victory. And Sri Lanka got one win under their belt as the Aussies won the T20 series 4-1. But first, I'm going to go to the Australia versus Sri Lanka, and then we come back to India versus West Indies. So talking about the Australia versus Sri Lanka, as I said, all eyes were whether Australia could get their first ever T20 series, first ever clean sweep in a T20 series against any opposition. That was not to be, as Sri Lanka won the match by 5 wickets with 1 ball remaining. And Kushal Mendes was the man who made a good impact on the match by scoring 60-odd runs at a very crucial juncture to basically give them the victory. He was there in the end to take them to victory. So let's talk about this game. So the Aussies batted first and put up 154 for 6 on the board. If you look at the Aussie innings, the openers went early. Aaron Finch was claimed by Dushmantha Chamira for 8 and Jai Vikrama claiming Ben Mcdermott. So if you look at it, Aaron Finch as a captain for Australia has been struggling. It is quite a long time since Aaron Finch has really made a substantial contribution in T20 cricket for Australia. Ben Mcdermott, after that 50 that he hit as soon as he was in the first T20, the Sri Lankans have really sussed him up. And today, it was a length ball, and Mcdermott tried to put it through the mid-wicket region, but got a thick leading edge, and it was an easy catch to Pathum Nissanka. So that was it. So basically, the openers were in the hut pretty early in the piece with a score 12 for 2 in 4.5 overs. Josh Inglis, who is the player of the it was Glenn Maxwell who was the player of the series, but Josh Inglis, what he has shown in this series, if you compare it to Ben Mcdermott, I thought Josh Inglis is the one who has really showed his class. He has showed his stroke making, and Josh Inglis, I think, was pretty consistent with his scores. He was shuffled around a bit as far as the positions were concerned, but I think he did a wonderful job, and he looks to be a player for the future for Australia. Josh Inglis, he was done in by a furious delivery from Chamira. Chamira has worked up some real good pace, and one has to say in this context that Dushmantha Chamira and Lairu Kumara definitely enjoyed the Australian tracks because they were getting the ball to lift and they were bowling at some serious pace of 145 clicks. And that's a wonderful thing to have, especially in test matches. If you have Chamira and Lairu Kumara at the other end with so much of pace, and what Chamira did here to Josh Inglis was the ball actually hurried through. It probably hit the helmet of Josh Inglis, but probably, as I said, it was Chamira's pace that did in Josh Inglis because on the probably it was coming on the helmet and the ball probably hit the glove of Josh Inglis and he was given out. So Josh Inglis was out for 23 of 20 deliveries, 3 boundaries. Glenn Maxwell, as I said, he has been very consistent. He took the player of the series, and once again, he crashed 29 of 21, 2 fours and 1 6 in this innings before being a victim to Lairu Kumara. Marcus Stoinis making 17, falling a victim to Kumara, but the finisher Matthew Wade was there to actually get some real oomph into the Aussie batting camp, as the Aussies ended up 154 for 6, with Matthew Wade contributing an unbeaten 43 of 27 deliveries, which included 2 fours and 2 sixes. Sams made 18 of 15, 2 fours, and Ashton Agar not opening the innings this time, coming and in his usual position, not out on 4. 154 for 6, and the bowling Tikshana run for 27 at the top. Lailu Kumara 4 overs 234. Chamira, I thought, bowled very well, 4 overs 230. Pravin Jai Vikrama was inducted today, 1 for 29 for him. And Chamika Karunaratne, 1 for 32. So the Aussies 154 for 6. Definitely, I thought the Sri Lankans have done a good job here at the MCG to restrict the Aussies to 154. Looking at the Sri Lankan innings, Kushal Mendis and Pathum Nissanka opened the innings. Pathum Nissanka was an early victim of the bowling of Kane Richardson. It was caught by Maxwell. Nissanka tried to go over the top in the power play overs and did not get the connection as he would have expected. And Maxwell took the catch of Kane Richardson. So 13 of 8 deliveries with 1-4 and Pathum Nissanka gone. Kushal Mendis was joined by, there were 2 debutants today in the Sri Lankan lineup. Kamil Mishara was making his T20 debut, but unfortunately, he had a very forgettable T20 debut as he was run out by a Sam Swade combination as the ball was pulled pulled in a very meek manner to the square leg region. But he tried, he was going for that single, but before he could put his bat into the crease, it was all over. Kamil Mishra was gone, run out for one. So there's one debutant. There was also another debutant who was also run out, and this was Janeth Liyanage. Janeth Liyanage was also run out. It was a combination of Kane Richardson and Matthew Wade. It was really, I would say, totally messed up communication in the middle. One thought Liyanage put the ball past the mid-wicket for a single, and first tells Mendes that no, he's not coming for the second run, and Mendes has gone all the way. I thought definitely it was good on the part of Janeth Liyanage to actually not make the sacrifice of the wicket, because in the end, the man who made the difference for Sri Lankan win was none other than Kushal Mendis, who was there at the crease, not out on 69 of 58 deliveries, 5 fours and 1 6. And definitely, I thought Janeth Liyanage, on his debut, has sacrificed this wicket. It was gone for 8 of 9 deliveries, but nevertheless, it was a very, very good sacrifice, as it was Kushal Mendis who took them to victory with a wonderful innings of an unbeaten 69 with some good strokes, 58 deliveries, 5 fours and 1 6. Dasun Shanaka, the captain, was the one who had to stay there, because after Liyanage left, the score was a bit shaky at 71 for 4 in the 9th over, and still some work to be done. But Dasun Shanaka, the captain, came in, dealt some good blows. He fantastically pulled Kane Richardson into the crowd. He hit 2 sixes in a knock of 35, 31 deliveries, 2 sixes. And then Dasun Shanaka, with I think 9 runs required of 6 balls, he fell off the 4th delivery. In fact, he started off with the 6 of the bowling of Kane Richardson, and he fell on the 4th delivery with the scores level, and it was left to Chamika Karunaratne. He was the 7th batsman at the crease there, and Chamika Karunaratne had to do the as they had crossed, I suppose. Dasun Shanaka was bowled by Kane Richardson, and it was the man on strike was Chamika Karunaratne, but Chamika Karunaratne managed to squeeze out a single, and thus the match ended with the Sri Lankans winning by 5 wickets of the penultimate ball of the innings, and that would have been a sweeping feeling for them as Sri Lanka leave the shores of Australia with a victory under the belt, and the Aussies had to still wait to get a clean sweep of the opposition in the T20 series. So well done, Sri Lanka. Stoin is none for 13, and Daniel Sams none for 22. Jai Richardson was a bit awry today. I thought he went all over the place today. His 4 overs costing 38 runs. Kane Richardson, well, I thought he did a good job in the series. I thought 3.4 overs, no maiden, 2 for 28. Ashton Agar, as usual, very economical, 1 for 19. And Adam Zampa also went for runs today, none for 33. And Kushal Mendis got the Man of the Match award. Player of the series going to Glenn Maxwell. But it was an interesting series. I thought the Sri Lankans would have definitely put up a much better performances. In the first match, as I said, in the first 2 matches, they showed a real sense of urgency. And I really felt for them. Binura Fernando was simply superb in his first match. And after that, he did not play any of the matches. He's the tall, gangling left-arm bowler, very impressive. but because of COVID, he could not even take any further part. That was a big, big blow to them, according to me. And also one into Hasranga, the right arm leggy, and all-rounder, who could have made a big difference, was doing well. But again, he also fell a victim to COVID, and he also could not take part. So definitely what it shows is that this Sri Lankan lineup and young lineup is looking really the piece. And they have got a good turn of the good knowledge of what Australia gets, because as you know, Australia is the one who's going to hold the T20 World Cup this year, the month of October. So I think that would really hold them in good stead for the T20 World Cup in Australia. So now we are moving from here to the India, to the match between India and West Indies. This was the final match before the West Indies leave India back to their home. As far as Sri Lanka is concerned, Sri Lanka will be taking the flight to, I think they might be going to Sri Lanka and then taking the next flight back to India to come and play in a series of test matches and T20 matches against India. India versus West Indies, it was the final match. India decided to rest Rishabh Pant and Virat Kohli with the rotation policy, which is a good thing to do, according to me, with a lot of cricket being played. And India, once again, even though they put a good score on the board, I thought the West Indies challenged it in a wonderful manner. But in the end, India was the victorious team, winning by 17 runs and thus making a clean sweep of the T20 series 3-0. And Surya Kumar Yadav for some brilliant batting. He is someone, as I said, he's a person who, as I said, he's not only a person who would be already cemented his post in all the formats of the game, but also to me, he looks to me a sort of a real captain tomorrow for India. I'm looking at him right away because of the way he handles things. I think Surya Kumar Yadav could be India's future test captain, a future Indian captain, probably in the days to come. This is just a sort of an opinion of mine after looking at what Surya Kumar is bringing to the table, what he's been doing for India. He's such a wonderful, wonderful player. I mean, he has such steely wrist, and the way he walks to the wicket and gets going right away from the first ball really shows his supreme confidence as far as international cricket is concerned. Now, talking about this particular match, India were the ones who batted first. Rohit Sharma deciding that he will be coming two drop actually to actually give the youngsters a chance, because India has already won the series. They decided to thrust in two debutants today. One was, I think it was Avesh Khan. Sorry, Ruturaj Gaikwad had already made his debut. So it was Avesh Khan who was making his T20 debut. Definitely, I wouldn't say it was a very good debut for Avesh Khan, but nevertheless, it was just the first match for Avesh Khan. Ruturaj Gaikwad was getting his second game, I reckon, but after not looking very good, Ruturaj Gaikwad probably showing a bit of signs of nerves there, as he tried to flick a delivery and the ball was swinging a bit, and Jason Holder got him to cock the ball to Kyle Mayers, who juggled but finally managed to cling on, and Ruturaj Gaikwad was the early victim. Caught Mayers bowled Holder for 4 with just 1 boundary. After that, Ishan Kishan was joined in by Shreyas Iyer. Shreyas Iyer was definitely looking very good with his batting, and the both had taken the score, put a 53-run partnership between the two in probably, I think it was probably 6 overs. They put 50 runs partnership before Shreyas Iyer was the next to go. It was top edge. He was definitely with Hayden Walsh. He was definitely trying to pull the deliveries, and here he was another ball from Hayden Walsh, which was spinning away from him, and the ball went to long off, and Shreyas Iyer was gone. Caught hold of old Walsh for 25 with 4-4, but he was looking very good. Ishan Kishan, as usual, played his strokes, making 34. And Ishan Kishan was the man who was basically trying to pull Roston Chase, but he was trying to pull one too many, one could call, as one of these deliveries, which did not really lift, I would say. And that was the precise reason Ishan Kishan was clean bowled by Chase for 34 of 31 deliveries, 5 fours. And the score at 66 for 3 as Rohit Sharma came in. Today, For West Indies, it was, I think it was, there was some debutants. No, there was only Avish Khan, but as far as West Indies were concerned, Dominic Drakes got a game here, and Dominic Drakes took the very important wicket, that of Rohit Sharma, who was clean bowled by Drakes for 7, as Rohit Sharma decided to come down the track to Dominic Drakes, and it was a ball which was pitching outside the leg stump. As Rohit came down the wicket, he missed the ball, and it ended up taking the top of the middle and leg stump, and Rohit Sharma was gone. Bowled Drakes for 7, and India were in a bit of a trouble there at 93 for 4 in the 14th over, and it was not really looking good for India. 93 for 4, and I thought the West Indian bowlers had done a good job there by keeping India at 193 for 4. But what followed was the other day we saw Rishabh Pant and Venkatesh Iyer in a rollicking stand. And today what happened at 13.4 overs with the score on 93 for 4, we are looking at 6 overs. In 6 overs, it was the batting of Surya Kumar Yadav, who hit 7 sixes and 1 boundary in a knock of 65 of 31 deliveries. What a knock! And he got great support from Venkatesh Iyer, who cracked 35 unbeaten runs of 19 deliveries with 4 fours and 2 sixes. And Surya Kumar Yadav, my word, what a player India has got in Surya Kumar Yadav. I mean, he is someone, he has strokes all over the park, and his steely wrist was really getting the ball. And one of the strokes that he hit, where the bowler probably is pitching the ball on the off and middle stump, and Surya Kumar Yadav gets his foot onto the offside, shuffles it, and puts it into the crowd. And he hits many of those strokes like that. And he hit 7 sixes in all in a sterling knock, one could say, which gave him the player of the match and the player of the series. 7 sixes and 1 boundary in a knock of 65. It's a blistering innings from Surya Kumar Yadav in the 91-run partnership that he had with Venkatesh Iyer. 65, 31 deliveries. And Venkatesh Iyer slammed it, especially through the offside, and also hitting the ball straight down the ground over the top. What an innings from Venkatesh Iyer. When he hits it with power, he hits it with tremendous timing, and it was a real treat to watch this partnership. Probably, as I said, India galloped on to 184 for 5 thanks to these two blokes. Surya Kumar Yadav contributed 65, 31, 7 sixes and 1 boundary, and Venkatesh Iyer contributing an unbeaten 35, just 19 deliveries, which included 4 fours and 2 sixes. So that was pretty much the Indian card. As far as the bowling was concerned, Holder had 1 for 29. Romario Shepherd disappeared for plenty. 1 for 50 of his overs has really climbed on. Surya Kumar and Venkatesh Iyer climbed on to Romario Shepherd's. Roston Chase, as usual in the series, has been doing a wonderful job. 1 for 23. Hayden Walsh also bowled decently. 1 for 30. Dominic Drakes went for a few runs. 1 for 37 of 3. Fabian Allen, none for 5. The West Indian innings. And it was Deepak Chahar who was showing right at the start. He was showing that the ball was swinging. He was moving the ball both ways, and he picked up first Kyle Mayer's wicket with a peach of a delivery, which went past the outside edge of Kyle Mayer's bat, and that was it. The ball was swinging away, and Kyle Mayer was in the crease. The catch was taken by Ishan Kishan. Shai Hope was another victim of a Chahar delivery this time. He was also caught behind, and I think Deepak Chahar is a wonderful swing bowler. He got the ball to move perfectly on the channel outside the off stump, and that was the end. Once again, Hope was sucked into thin edge, and then Deepak Chahar, unfortunately, could not take any further part in the game as he went back after bowling 1.5 overs, 15 runs and 2 wickets, and that was very sad for India as he did some harm to his leg, I suppose, and it was very sad. But after that, there was wonderful batting from Nicholas Puran, who was really making, he was really giving a sort of a worry to the Indians with his knock of 61 of 47 deliveries, 8 fours and 1 6. Roman Powell slammed it as he did in the previous match with 25-14, 2 fours and 2 sixes in that. And then suddenly when once these wickets fell of Roman Powell, there was suddenly a bit of a a lull in the West Indian proceedings as Kieron Pollard, Venkatesh Iyer got this wicket. As Kieron Pollard's wicket was taken, Ravi Bishnoi taking the catch as Pollard tries to hit the ball through the deep cover region, and he was gone, caught by Bishnoi. So Pollard was out cheaply. Jason Holder holed out to Shreyas Iyer of the bowling of Venkatesh Iyer for 2. Roston Chase lost his stumps to a real dipping delivery, a slow dipping delivery, which is the speciality of Harshal Patel, and completely fooled Roston Chase. Chase was just waiting for it to come and tried to had a jab at it, and the leg stump was out of the ground. He loses his bottom hand, and he was clean bowled by Harshal Patel. Harshal Patel, as I said, showed sleight of hand here in his bowling. But Romario Shepherd suddenly brought the match to life. When Roston Chase left the scene, the score was 100 for 6. And then Nicholas Pooran opened out in big time, taking the score to 148 for 7 in the 18th over. Still a lot of work to be done, one could call. 34 runs still to get. Romario Shepherd was literally pummeling the Indian bowlers, and he was showing what Roman Powell was showing with his very, very big hits as he contributed 29. And that was the time India needed something with Romario Shepherd on absolute song there. But Romario Shepherd's wicket, it was a very good catch taken by Sharma. Actually, Rohit Sharma taking the catch at extra cover as Shepherd was really going big guns. And Romario Shepherd was scalped by Sharma on the bowling of Patel for 29 of 21 deliveries, 3 sixes and 1 4. Fabian Aaron was not out on 5, but the turning point in the game came from that superlative catch taken. I think Ishan Kishan also took a superlative catch, no doubt about it. It was an absolutely superlative catch by Ishan Kishan as the ball was skied by Nicholas Pooran. The ball was really swirling around, and always swirlers are very difficult to catch. And I thought Ishan Kishan with his gloves took a good catch, and that was the end of Nicholas Pooran. But there was one catch which really made a big difference. It was Roman Powell. What a catch from Shardul Thakur. I mean, if you're running backwards to take a catch, it is never, ever easy. But Shardul Thakur running back, keeping an eye on the ball, finally pouched it in a very comfortable manner. And that, to me, was the catch of the day from Shardul Thakur. And also, in the 3 overs that India bowled, India is showing that what death bowling is all about. Dominic Drakes was a victim of the bowling of Shardul Thakur, and suddenly at 158 for 8 in the 19th over, it was all the handiwork of none other than the seam bowler Shardul Thakur and Harshal Patel, who really saw to it that the West Indians were not able to really go on as they finished at 167 for 9. West Indies losing the match by 17 runs. India clean sweeping the series 3-0. Congratulations to the Indian team. Deepak Chahar, not to be bold. Avesh Khan definitely was not at all his usual self. He wasted a lot of deliveries, probably a sign of nerves. One did not know, playing his first ever international, making his T20 debut. 4 overs, none for 42. Not good bowling figures at all. Venkatesh Iyer, 2.1 overs, made in 223, showing that he could be a good finisher and he could also contribute in the bowling department. Shardul Thakur not only contributed with that ball 2 for 33 and bowling those very tight death overs, went on to pick up that superlative catch, the catch of the day, according to me, to dismiss Roman Powell. Ravi Bishnoi, 4 overs, none for 29. But Harshal Patel, look at his bowling figures. Magnificent. 4 overs, no maiden, 22 runs and 3 wickets. Totally derailed the West Indian effort as the West Indians lost by 17. India won by 17 runs. So well done, India. And as I said, now the West Indians would be flying back to West Indies, and then they probably it's England versus West Indies, and the Sri Lankans will be traveling to India for the test match, 2 test matches, and the T20 series. So it was a wonderful series. I'm sure the West Indies have a lot to ponder over, but definitely one has to give credit to the West Indies, the way they fought with India. And the reason that I say that is because this is a young upcoming team. It's rebuilding under the captaincy of Kieron Pollard. So I think one should give it some time, as Kieron Pollard attested it on his post-match press conference. Well, dear fans, friends, and subscribers, an absolute pleasure bringing you the cricket happenings as usual. Looking forward to your company once more tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be there, as it's a holiday for me tomorrow. So I will definitely be back with another cricket happening show on Monday as well. Thanks for your company and looking forward to once again talking with you all on my cricket happening show. Until then, it's goodbye from here. Thank you.